The Little Mermaid.
Once upon a time, in a magical underwater kingdom, there lived a curious and adventurous mermaid named Ariel. She had long flowing red hair, sparkling green eyes, and a beautiful voice that could captivate anyone who heard it. Ariel was fascinated by the human world, especially the land above the water. She used to spend much time above water with her friend Scuttle, the seagull. Ariel regularly consulted Scuttle about human stuff. She spent much of her time swimming to ships that had fallen to the bottom of the sea. She collected human artifacts while exploring a shipwreck underwater. Her father, King Triton, who was the ruler of the sea, was always worried about his curious daughter, Ariel. He used to always warn her.
Ariel, you must be careful. The human world is dangerous, and we must stay in our own domain.
But Father, there's so much to see up there. I want to know more about the humans and their world.
Ariel used to reply. Despite her father's warnings, Ariel couldn't resist the allure of the surface. One evening, when she came up over the water, the little mermaid was next to a large ship. She heard the enchanting sound of human music playing. There, she witnessed a grand celebration on a ship. She swam closer so she could see better. She saw a handsome young prince, Eric, and later she realized it was his birthday party. Suddenly, a tremendous storm struck and the ship was tossed around. Then, all at once, the waves got very high and the ship started to tip over. The prince was flung to the side of the ship and thrown overboard. Down into the sea he fell. It was so dark that the little mermaid could see nothing. Then lightning lit up the sky, and she could see the young prince dropping very fast underwater. She dove deep and fast, grabbed his shirt, then swam up to the surface and pulled his head above the water. Ariel bravely saved Prince Eric from drowning and brought him to the shore. She stayed next to the prince until the morning. She asked herself,
I've never felt this way before. What is this strange new feeling?
Scuttle, who observed the whole scene, said,
Ariel, child, you're in deep trouble. Falling in love with a human is forbidden.
Then she started singing with her beautiful voice. All of a sudden, the prince started to move.
Oh, are you all right?
She asked and touched his forehead. Just then, she heard a group of men come over. At once, she hid behind a rock. Scuttle, the seagull, was there next to her. Days went by. Then weeks. Ariel was too sad that the prince would never know that she had saved him. Ariel, torn between her love for Prince Eric and her duty to her father, headed to the far corner of the sea where the sea witch, Ursula, lived. Ariel told Ursula about the prince. Then she said,
Unless I can somehow walk on land and be with that young man, I will be sad for the rest of my days. Help me, please.
This is no problem,
said the sea witch when the little mermaid told her what she needed.
Well, to have legs all you need to do is to drink my potion, but I don't just give it away, you understand?
Ursula continued.
What then is your price?
Said the little mermaid.
Oh, not too much. For one, you must give up your voice,
said the sea witch.
My voice?
The little mermaid was shocked. She knew her voice is what everyone loved about her the best.
You don't need it. Chitter chatter, what a waste of time, but know this, little pretty. If the prince marries someone else, the next day you must die, and your voice will stay with me forever. But then again, who knows, he might choose you,
explained the sea witch. Ariel desperately agreed on the deal. The little mermaid took the potion and drank it. She gave up her voice in exchange of being a human with 2 legs. She awoke later and found herself on the shore as a human. Scuttle was there trying to wake her up. All of a sudden, she heard someone asking,
Miss, are you in trouble?
It was none other than the Prince Eric. She tried to say something, but no words came out of her mouth.
Can you not speak?
Said he. She shook her head no.
Oh, well then, let me take you to the castle. You can clean up there and get some dry clothes to wear.
The little mermaid was overjoyed to join the prince at the castle. The next day was a royal party. He asked the little mermaid if she might come with him. She nodded a big yes. After that, they started to spend a lot of time together every day. The prince wanted the little mermaid by his side every day. He thought he could even fall in love with her, But he still held out hope to marry the one with the lovely voice he remembered from when he had been rescued. Of course, it could not be his wonderful new friend who was not able to talk. One day, Ariel woke up and was shocked by the news that Prince Eric is going to marry a princess from a nearby land. It was the king's decision to have his son Eric marrying to a princess. The little mermaid felt fear and sadness. She knew what would happen to her the day after the prince married someone else. Prince Eric, too, was crushed, as he only wanted to marry the woman with the beautiful voice that he remembered. One night, the bride came to the castle for a visit and to set the wedding plans. Then, Ariel noticed a necklace with a shell in her neck. It was the same shell that the sea witch used to capture Ariel's voice. The little mermaid realized then that Ursula, the sea witch, had put her voice into this princess. The prince was stunned. He asked the princess to sing. It was the little mermaid's voice that filled the room. Ariel's heart was filled with gloom. Ariel rushed to the shore with her tears on her cheeks. There, Scuttle came to check on her.
Don't cry, dear. We will figure out a solution. Everyone should know the truth. You are the real princess. Ursula had taken your voice, but she can never take the love in your heart.
The wedding day had finally arrived. The little mermaid joined the other guests on the wedding cruise. She was very sad. While the fake bride was standing there happily welcoming the guests, Scuttle flew fast towards her, and he snatched the necklace with the shell from her neck. As the shell fell into the ground, it broke, and the voice within it was let go, and it returned to Ariel. The fake bride at that moment reappeared as the sea witch Ursula. The guests on board the ship were terrified. The little mermaid then began to sing. The prince recognized the voice as belonging to the woman he had grown to adore. He put his arms around the little mermaid.
Now I know it was you all along the way.
The prince said.
Will you marry me?
The prince asked her. The little mermaid nodded in happiness. Then she said,
Yes, my prince.
After all, there was a wedding on the ship. And so, Ariel and Eric lived happily ever after, with the little mermaid cherishing both her underwater roots and the love she found on the surface. They used to go to the seashore from time to meet her mermaid sisters and her father. The sea echoed with the joyful melodies of their love story, reminding everyone that sometimes love knows no boundaries.
Please like and subscribe to our channel for more stories.